Hello everybody, this is That Wolf from Hyrule, and welcome to a brand new Let's Play Friday. And if you noticed, this is Ocarina of Time, but it looks a little different. That's because, yeah, there's a different stipulation with this. I'll just let this play out for a little bit. Hopefully the description will have a better explanation than I do, because I'm really excited to start this. So, to give a brief overview of what this is Ocarina of Time, but with the Better Ocarina of Time enhancement. Unfortunately, that also means that this is it's a branch of the Ocarina of Time randomizer built for speedrunners, but there's a lot of better features which make it a lot better. For example, the boots for the hover boots and the iron boots are left and right on the D-pad respectively, meaning you don't have to pause, go into the menu, and find your boots. They're literally right there at your fingertips, and you can even hide that menu if you wanted to. So that said, that out of the way, let's get going. I want to make sure my options are fine the way they are, which they are. Awesome. Let's get started. This should start from the beginning of the game as if I'd never actually started, which is what I want. Okay, good. In the vast deep forest of Hyrule, long have I served as the guardian spirit. I am known as the Deku Tree. The children of the forest, the Kokiri, live here with me. Each Kokiri has his or her own guardian fairy. However, there is one boy who does not have a fairy. Poor Link. So as you can tell, all the textures I have included in this have greatly made everything just to look a lot better. And for the record, this is from the... I'll wait till this finish plays out. This is from the Better Ocarina of Time texture enhancement project, and yeah, I've selected this one just simply because it's the best looking one I've found so far. It is not complete, however, that's the only downside, but I'm going to play this to the end with this texture pack, and that's what I chose. Navi, Navi, where art thou? Come hither. Oh, Navi the fairy, listen to my words, the words of the Deku Tree. Dost thou sense it? The climate of evil descending upon this realm. Malevolent forces even now are mustering to attack our land of Hyrule. Doing for so long that the Kokiri Forest, the source of life, has stood as a barrier, deterring outsiders and maintaining the order of the world. But before this tremendous evil power, even my power is as nothing. It seems that the time has come for the boy without a fairy to begin his journey. The youth whose destiny it is to lead Hyrule to the path of justice and truth. Navi, go now. Find our young friend and guide him to me. I do not have much time left. Fly, Navi, fly! The fate of the forest, nay, the world, depends upon thee. As you noticed, the text moves a lot faster, but instead of just moving faster, it just gets displayed instantly. Therefore, I can still narrate this and not have to slog through the incredibly slow text speed of the original game, one of the great enhancements I was talking about, in addition to all the other things. And there's a quick pan over of the Kokiri Forest, looking a lot better in my opinion. So these textures try to faithfully recreate and restore a lot of the aspects of the game, but there's still going to be some original texture bleed through, and that's kind of a consequence of being incomplete as a texture pack. Like, a lot of the 2D environments have not been finished yet, but honestly, that's fine with me because what is here and complete has been improved greatly. Hello, Link, wake up. The great Deku Tree wants to talk to you. Link, get up. Hey, come on. Can Hyrule's destiny really depend on such a lazy boy? When I played this game for the first time, like 20 some odd years ago, I was really impressed. And just the fact that it's endured this long through history, especially in gaming history, it just speaks to its testament of what it did for the era. You finally woke up. I'm Navi the Fairy. The Great Deku Tree asked me to be your partner from now on. Nice to meet you. The Great Deku Tree has summoned you, so let's get going right now. Okay, so before I begin, there's going to be a couple of stipulations with this Let's Play. I will be creating save states, but only for the purpose of starting where I left off. I will be periodically saving as usual, so I'm not going to completely ignore the original saving. But meanwhile, let's get a good look at Link here. So, if you can tell, the detail of his tunic textures has greatly been improved. Although with some of how the texture map lays out, and as well as how the models have laid the textures out, can have some weird stretching. So that's only just a consequence of the actual N64 files itself, like the N64 models. If it looks weird, it's probably due to the modeling itself. And if you will notice that this tunic is a lot brighter green than it should be, I did that on purpose because I wanted it to match the look of the menu icons as closely as possible. Speaking of which, let's get a quick pan over of what the menu looks like. As expected, it looks a lot better, and everything just looks fantastic. It looks HD and it looks high res. So that said, and that out of the way, let's continue this. Out we go. And I'll do a quick pan over of the area. We've seen a little bit more, but let's go explore the forest in depth. Another thing with this Let's Play is I want to play it as if I've never played this game before. So we're going to be talking to everybody, and we're going to be seeing everything we possibly can. This is Link's house. Wow, a fairy! Finally, a fairy came to you, Link. And she's in position as if she didn't actually show up to you. But that's okay because, again, this is like a speedrunner's version of the game. But I'm only playing this because of the improvements that it brings, not because of the speedrunner aspect. I will be playing this as vanilla as possible. Finally, a fairy came to you, Link. Wow, that's great news. I'm so happy for you. Now you're a true Kokiri, Link. Is that right? The Great Deku Tree has summoned you? It's quite an honor to talk to the Great Deku Tree. I'll wait for you here. Get going. Go see the Great Deku Tree. Alright, so let's go ahead and do that. But let's also talk to this kid who's sitting here flipping grass. That meanie Mido made me cut the grass at Saria's house. Mido told Saria he would do it so she would like him, but I'm the one doing all the work. You and Saria are close friends, so will you help me cut the grass? I'll let you keep anything you find while cutting it. Unfortunately, I can't do much right now. Periodically, Navi will interrupt us and tell us to go do stuff. Come on, be brave, let's go into the Great Deku Tree. So every once in a while I will respond to her, but if we've seen the text before, we'll just skip it most of the time. Hey you, Mr. No Fairy, what's your business with the Great Deku Tree? Without a fairy, you're not even a real man. What? You've got a fairy? Say what? The Great Deku Tree actually summoned you? What? Why would he summon you and not the Great Mido? This isn't funny. I don't believe it. You aren't even fully equipped yet. How do you think you're going to help the Great Deku Tree without both a sword and shield ready? What? You're right, I don't have my equipment ready, but if you want to pass through here, you should at least equip a sword and a shield. Sheesh! So, now that he's said that, let's go back and talk to Saria. Because we can't really progress, and I'm doing this in the logical progression of the original game. What? Mido won't let you go see the Great Deku Tree. Oh, that bum. I don't know why he's always so mean to everyone. What he said is true, though. The forest. Strange things have been happening here lately. You need to be ready for anything. You'd better find a weapon. You could buy a shield at the shop, but there's only one sword hidden somewhere in the forest. So, with that said, let's go continue on and do what we're supposed to do. Thankfully, this handy path leads us straight over to here, where we can talk to this girl. Oh, a fairy finally came to you. Now you have a lot to learn. The best place to learn some new skills is in the Forest Training Center. It's on the hill just above here. So, in other words, the game basically leads you straight to where you're supposed to go. The House of the Know-It-All Brothers. And this is the training center. We can't really do much here, because Link can't really cut the grass or anything, but let's just continue talking to everybody. Hey, let's work on some moves. Jumping sideways while Z targeting, press A as you move right or left. To do a backflip, while Z targeting, press A as you move backwards. To do a roll attack, press A while you move forward, while Z targeting. While you roll, you can avoid damage. If you have your sword ready, while Z targeting, you can do a jump attack by pressing A. A jump attack does double damage. You can use Z targeting on the stone next to me, so let's practice. Let's do that. Okay. Okay, so this just teaches you the basics of how to do stuff. What does this sign say? Hole of Z, let's go through this small hole. So there's a lot of tutorial areas here, so this, for intents and purposes, this is all just the tutorial area. Alright, we can't do anything here yet, so... Sounds like there's a rolling rock around here. Hey, there's also rupees in the grass. Okay, there we go. We just narrowly avoided the rock. There we go. Visit the House of the Know-It-All Brothers to get answers for all your item-related questions. Well, isn't that convenient? Here we go. The first item of the game. You got a sword! You got the Kokiri Sword! This is a hidden treasure of the Kokiri. Okay, so let's do, like everybody says, and equip it. So far, the only texture change for this sword is just the handle. I think the sword blade textures itself might have been updated. But from what's here, like I said, everything looks a lot better. I don't know what this sign said, but it doesn't say anything now. I was hoping there'd be more rupees in there. So yeah, now that we have a sword, we can actually cut grass. To do the first thing in the game, you need a sword. That's okay, though. So there's a lot of other improvements, and they'll probably become more evident as they appear. But now that I got the sword, we can actually... There we go. So yeah, now that we got the sword, we can do that. Let's continue to cut grass, now that we can. This sign will just tell you how you can cut grass with a sword. This has you doing the thrust attack, which is just Z targeting and pressing Z while holding forward. So let's visit the Know-It-All Brothers. I could teach you about the icons at the top of the screen. So because we already know these, let's just skip a lot of this dialogue. I do not know how to use that button. I already know how to use that button. So there's the map. He tells us about the map. He tells us about items. So, in other words, these guys just tell you how to play the game. Get a couple of rupees out of here while we're at it. Nice. We have 30 rupees. Okay, so there's an optional thing you can do here. Across here is Mido's house. For a completely optional thing, you can go into his house and raid his chests. All he has there is 11 rupees and a heart recovery. But we don't really need to do that, so what we're gonna do is there's a rupee up on top of that. We're gonna go ahead and get that, and we're also gonna help this this fellow out with his chores that Mido has demeaned him to do. What a jerk. Okay. So like I said, some of the textures are like strangely stretched out, so they're not going to look perfect, but for the most part, they do a really good job of making the area and overall the game a lot better and easier to look at. Hehe, you came up all the way here? You must be pretty brave. Look, isn't this view pretty? Change your viewpoint so you could look around the forest. Indeed. We'll visit this area later, but for now, let's continue on. What did you have to say? Oh, you have a fairy now? That's great, Link. What? You've been called by the Great Deku Tree. What an honor. He may give you a special gift. Teehee. That's because the Great Deku Tree is our father, the Forest Guardian, and he gave life to all us Kokiri. That's nice. So, an Easter egg for anybody that doesn't know, jumping across these stones will net you an easy 5 rupees. Hi, Link. Look this way. Look over here with Z and talk to me with A. Yes, that's how you use a fairy. It's so great that you finally have a fairy partner. I'll teach you how to talk to people using a fairy. When a fairy flies near the person or a thing, use that button to look in that direction. If you use that, you can talk to people from a distance like we're talking now. When you have nothing that you can't target, just press that to look forward. Try it. Indeed. Okay. Let's see what she has to say. This shop, it sells things you can get in the forest for free, teehee. Did you know how to use the Deka Shield? Teehee. So basically telling you how to equip it. With a bunch of teehees in there. Another little Easter egg if you didn't know. Welcome, let's talk to him really quick. We sell shields, but not swords. Speaking of shields, here we go. This is the Deku Shield. Your second piece of equipment. And as an option, we can buy Deku Nuts and Deku Sticks, but we get both of them completely free in the forest. And here's the other item you can get for 10 rupees. It's just a recovery heart. It refills your health by 1. You can get a stick. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's at least buy 1 stick. You've got a Deku Stick. Don't think I'll need anything else. Okay, so let's fully equip ourselves. We will definitely be needing the sticks, so let's go ahead and do that. And if you notice, all of the icons for the menu have been greatly improved and look a whole lot better than their N64 originals. And that's one of the things that you'll probably start to notice as we progress in this. That the icons will definitely be looking a lot sharper and honestly, quite just a whole lot better. So we have 1 stick, and we have our sword and shield, so let's talk to Mido again. If you want to see the Great Deku Tree, you should at least equip a sword and shield. Hey, what's that? Oh, you have a Deku Shield. And what's that? Is that the Kokiri Sword? Good grief! Well, even with all that stuff, a wimp is still a wimp, huh? I, the Great Mido, will never accept you as one of us. Shoot! How did you get to be the favorite of Saria and the Great Deku Tree, huh? Grumble, grumble. Serves you right. So if you learned if you paid attention to what all of the tutorials were telling you, this is where that would all come in handy. So this is also a quick overview about the combat. So as I hold forward on the stick, you do a vertical slice. A horizontal slice is done by just pressing by not pressing anything. You could even do a reverse horizontal slice if you time it right. So that's the basic overview of your swings. And like they say, pressing A is a jump attack, and it does double damage. So no matter what, it'll end up being that. Anyways, so to skip this opening cutscene, the Deku Tree's entrance is already open. Again, this was a speedrunners thing, and they didn't want to sit through all the line of dialogue, but basically he tells you that he's been cursed and you have to go inside of him by breaking the curse. Or you have to break the curse by going inside of him and basically killing the evil there. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, this is inside of the Deku Tree. And this is also where I will cut the first episode. So next time, we will tackle the Great Deku Tree and beyond. Thanks for joining me. I've been that Wolf from Hyrule, and I'll see you guys next week. Thank you for watching. If you like what you saw, please click the button below to visit my channel. If you want to see the Lax Sweets episode, please click the video on the left. If you want to see the previous gameplay, click the video on the right. See you next time!